Alrighty, back on the Fashion Hive podcast. My name is Santos Arellano. You know the rest of the team, Callie and Shaley. This evening, it is Saturday night for spring and summer season 2023. We have probably the most uh, well-dressed guest that you will ever have on a podcast.
The most iconic sparkle dress.
Iconic sparkle jacket here. So
I'm actually completely naked. Do not believe what they're saying. I'm just sat here in.
So we are here with Andrew Clancey from
Hello.
Any Old Iron and based out in Nashville. So, Andrew, can you walk us through a little bit of how you got started in the fashion industry?
I guess I'm from Britain, UK, England, and I was just always interested in fashion from an early age. And my sister was a stylist in Australia, and she came back to London, and I was still working in my dad's scrapyard and driving lorries, kind of weird, but I was still wearing Versace, of course.
Of course.
And she was like, "I'll come down to London and help me, style some videos." And I went down, and I did like this soap stylist guy, and I made some t-shirts, and I cut them up, and I embellished them, and I got paid I got paid for it, and I got to keep like £1,000 worth of t-shirts, and I thought, this is better than driving a lorry.
That's awesome. And what brought you stateside then?
A girl, an ex-fiance who didn't like America as much as I did.
Oh.
So she's now back in the UK, and I'm here.
Okay.
Wow. There you go.
And
What
then-
made you want to move to Nashville here?
So I opened a store in New York when I did move over here originally, like 12 years ago maybe, and 4 good years in the Lower East Side, selling kind of like other designers, other brands, and I just kind of like burnt out of New York. I just was like going out every night. I was like partying like crazy, and I just like, oh, this is too much. And at the time, we were getting a lot of stylists coming in from Nashville, and they were saying, you should open a store in Nashville. The country artists, they don't want to look like country artists anymore. They want to look contemporary. They want to look like red carpet, Nicole Kidman, although Nicole Kidman does live in Nashville. But see, they want to do that. So I just was like, oh, let's go for it. This was like 8 years ago. Nashville was beginning to become fashionable, but not quite. And it's gone crazy. It's like, another town. It's like, crazy town. So luckily we got in early, and now we're kind of like a mainstay on the fashion kind of circuit of Nashville.
Yeah. Well, good for you. That's amazing. Nashville is a big city to get into for fashion.
So you have a very iconic look. All of your looks are very recognizable. I recognize it on celebrities all the time. I'm like, oh my God, they're wearing Any Old Iron right now.
The sequence for sure, dead giveaway.
So what led you to this sparkly, very iconic look?
So I want to just say that maybe like 50% of the time it is mine. So 50% of the time it's someone else's, but people still think it's mine. So I don't want to take. I'm not taking credit for it at all. If it, I do own up if it's not mine. But it's so nice that people do think that the sequin is part of our it's a part of our brand MO. But we basically about 5 years ago I got a PR in LA with she's called B. Ackland, and the residency experience is their PR, and it's still my PR today. And I said, oh, my collection's 30% sequins and 70%, kind of like just suiting menswear. It was, different, but, still not sequin. And she said, no, you should make it 70% sequin and 30%. So the next collection, I made it 100% sequin. And within 1 month, we had Cher, Lady Gaga, and Beyonce wearing the label. So it was like...
That is iconic.
That was pretty awesome of her to suggest that. So, yeah.
So Cher, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, and dozens at least more have worn your stuff. Is there anybody in particular that has been your favorite to work with and style?
Do you know what I like? I think Jane Fonda was a moment, because I used to love Barbarella, the film, back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, just to put Ozzy Osbourne in sequins was like something kind of bizarre, because he's like a he's an icon himself. Elton John, that was great. I don't know, it just keeps... There's always something different around the corner, something unexpected. It's like we did like Aubrey Plaza, who's in, everybody knows now from, that TV program, which I can't remember the name of. What's it called?
Parks and Rec.
Yes.
She's in that
No,
one.
she's also in the new, when they're in the hotel abroad, and then. Come on, we can do this.
I'm not a
Come on.
TV person,
Wait,
so I
wait,
have no help for you
wait.
guys.
No, I know what you're talking
I
about.
saw it, and I can't think of the name either. Why
It's
can't?
on the tip of my tongue. I cannot think of it right now.
And do you know what? Tonight I actually heard one of the designers. Her opening song is the credits to that
Yes.
music, and it's like.
Yes. Watch, we're all gonna like figure it out right as you're presenting tonight. We're all gonna
Anyway,
scream.
so when I originally dressed her, she had like maybe, I don't know, maybe like 500,000 followers. Now she's like 10 million or something like that from the show. So it's kind of I like those moments the best. I kind of like when people have worn it back in the day, and then I can post it and like pretend that it was yesterday.
The magic of Instagram.
So we've talked about the celebrities that it's that your designs have been able to be worn by, but let's talk about the platform, like the actual platform of like the AMAs. Like, what is the biggest festivity that you would say that you're honored to have your clothing worn at?
I mean, we do a lot of CMT, CMAs, ACMs and stuff. Being in Nashville, it's kind of a thing. But we have had some stuff like I think an Oscars, and also definitely the music awards. Again, my memory is shot today. I've just flown in from Australia about 2 days ago. I want to tell you. So
the time change is still probably kicking you.
Yeah, it sure is, mate. Good eye, Sheila. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm kind of like I mean, I had one artist who sang at the White House in front of I think he was in front of Biden, and he was wearing my suit at the White House. So there's certain moments which are kind of like you remember and you like kind of kind of love, but I don't know. For me, it's just about making clothes and keep making clothes and just being creative. And it's like, luckily that I've been fortunate enough that the brand's doing pretty good, so I can kind of like have free reign of what I make, and kind of I just make what I love and make what I kind of wear, and I'm trying not to make anything fashionable, which sounds kind of weird. It's like, but I just want people to buy the pieces and them to be timeless. So.
Yeah. So there's a very distinctive word on some of your clothing. Is there a background story behind that,
a reason
or
behind it, or is that just Spitfire what you designed?
Yeah.
Like, let's put this on the runway.
Do you know what? It just kind of. Do you know what? We're like a punk Liberace. So my love was like English rock and roll punk bands. And then we're not afraid to say the word fuck. It's not what I mean. Like, don't say fuck or bugger. It's like what I mean. We it's not a British thing. It's, and do you know what? I think swearing is. We're actually changing the name of our sweatshirts to swear shirts.
Swear shirts?
I love that.
Yeah,
I
I think that's going to be the thing. And do you know what? It's like we made the fancy fucker one, and it kind of went a little viral, and it was like, it's not rocket science. If you actually make something and it sells a lot of, then just continue making something similar, or whatever, and just reinvent it. I think swearing is actually not as shocking as it were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's some words in America that we can't say as much as we can do in the UK. But it's like, it's so weird. You never know the customer that's going to buy it. We get like granny spare in it. We get, some people are like totally shocked. And then some people that I think are just going to be like totally shocked, totally love it, and own a fuck in everything I do. So
the flowers were my favorite, because my brother actually got one when he came to the show, and then he didn't realize until we got home that he was like, this says F-U on it.
Oh, wow.
We're like, because it's like written on the insides.
Yeah, I remember backstage last season, and all of us models at your table, we were getting the flowers and writing all over them. Like, there wasn't that many Sharpies to go around. I was writing on stuff with eyeliner, like writing the most vulgar stuff of my life. And I was like, I hope my grandma doesn't catch this.
But your grandma probably has said worse or thought worse, or you know what I mean? She's not.
Right, she would appreciate
like,
it.
They're not as innocent as you think they are. So
not at all.
Yeah, so we've actually it's kind of funny occurrence this time. It's the first time we've put a fuck on the runway at Kansas City Fashion Week,
Okay.
and
There you go.
I didn't really tell anybody about it. Sorry, guys, and they were all dressed and having the photographs taken, and I don't think they could say no. I don't know if they care. Not anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's after 9 o'clock, after the watershed. It should be allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
Yeah.
the last
yeah.
night too, so it was rain.
Yeah. So
Well,
Okay.
and let's be honest, everyone walks away talking about your line every single
Yeah.
time. So, you're just making sure that the trend continues regardless, so it's going to be awesome.
You're doing
and
something right.
Yes.
If people still talk about it and still bring up your show.
that's it.
Yeah.
But
We're doing something very different this year, where
Oh.
like every year I've kind of done like the choreography. It's just like, to be honest, I've drank like 6 pints of lager before the show, and then I tell the models, right, deliver a pizza, do this, fall off this, do that. You know what I mean? It's always been very spontaneous.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's best to do it 10 minutes before, because the models don't get nervous about doing it, and they'll just do it. They're caught up in the nervous energy of everything.
Yeah.
But this season, I'm like managed to get a choreographer who is. It's called Kevin Steer, and he was in Madonna's Vogue video. He's in all the Michael Jackson's videos. He's like an iconic, like, choreographer and dancer, and he's a friend of ours. So I got him cheap. Don't let him hear that. And then and so today it's going to be a little bit more kind of controlled. It's just still going to be different, but it's like kind of like, it scares me a little bit because it's like
Oh.
not as spontaneous.
Are you saying we're not going to get a grand finale from you?
Oh, there's a grand finale, don't worry.
Okay.
Of
No, there's
course.
always
I
going to
was
be a
like,
grand
please
finale.
don't down it too much. We like it.
Yeah. I might not be an inflatable bunny this year, but I definitely got something on my sleeve.
All
I'm
right.
so
Oh.
excited.
Well, that was the talk backstage this afternoon.
Oh,
was
yeah.
that we were told it wasn't anything inflatable, but you didn't clarify what it was. So
No,
we
yeah.
all were
No.
back there going,
We will say,
I wonder what it is.
we did get a little sneak peek. We were all sitting around the table the other day, and we were looking at your Instagram. We did get a little sneak peek video of you and your models or people like practicing. So we're like, we wonder what he has up his sleeve this year.
I don't know. That might have been. Was that in Australia? No, we did the show in Australia where we
It could have been.
have
rehearsing
been.
and doing things. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
this is a little bit. I'd say with Kevin on board, he's not letting me go off the rails too much. It'll just be a bit more polished, I think, and it'll be fun still. And I'm looking forward to it.
That's awesome. Well, what would you say? And first of all, thank you for your time this evening. What would you say for anyone who is either trying to jump into the fashion industry, for students, or even if they're 60 years old and they're going to start sewing tomorrow? What would you say to them? Any kind of advice?
So it's never too late to start. My first collection, I was, let me think, 48 when I did my first collection. I was working in fashion, styling, retail, so it's never too late to do it. What you need to do is find your voice. That's the most important thing, is to find something that just resonates with yourself. Of course, you've got to love it. You've got to wear it yourself. You've got to be able to. I think you have to wear it yourself and wear it out, because you're like a walking billboard for yourself. But it's just like, try and find something different. Just try and do something, and then just try small amount. Just like make a very small amount of it and try and sell it. If it sells, make more. It's just kind of like by a supply and demand kind of business sort of thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do we think you will ever get away from the sequence? Because we know that kind of is like your signature thing. Are you planning to ever like move away from it, or are you always going to try to incorporate it in any of your looks?
So sequins are always going to be part of the. It has to be, but we're also hand beaded, and then this year you'll see some embroidery. So one of the suits is like a gold robot suit. It's all just completely gold metallic embroidery, and the detail. When you see the detail, it's going to open a lot more avenues for me. There's only so much you can do with flip sequin. With the hand beading, it's like there's a certain amount of kind of skill that we can get with the imagery that we do. So I think like moving into it, I think it's going to be like mixed embroidery with sequins, with metallics. It's just like anything that's kind of shiny. I love shiny shit. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Yeah.
shiny shit.
Hashtag
Love
shiny
that.
shit.
That's awesome. Well, do you guys have any other questions before we go?
Can you tell us a little bit about your like manufacturing process and actually putting your ideas into real life? What does that look like for you?
So it starts in very different ways. We'll work with like we'll draw something first, or I'll see like if you see one of the dresses tonight, it's like a long duster with a dress underneath it. There is a body that goes to it, but DHL didn't deliver it in time. Thank you. But basically, the windows, it's like little tiny window panes that I took a photograph of a window in Jaipur in India, and I just love the pattern, and so we kind of recreated it in hand beading and kind of like created a look to it. So it varies. You know, I try to do like a theme. So this is space this time, which is my main love, and metallics and stuff. So it just really the concept first, and then we move into the sketching, then we move into the fabric development, and then we move on the silhouettes and stuff. So it's kind of it takes 6 to 8 months to
Wow.
design a collection.
Okay.
So
Wow.
Good. So you've shown at KC Fashion Week a few times now, and it's a big thing around with the Fashion Hive. Why we started this and everything is just about like the community of KC Fashion Week and like what it's all about and how it brings everyone together. Can you speak a little bit about what makes you want to come back to KC Fashion Week and show your designs, and what brings you back every year?
they pay me so much money. And that's totally not true. No, I think it's that this venue is amazing. The production is amazing. It's actually probably the best production that we ever do a show in. And so it's just a great platform to come. We get great pictures, we get great imagery, and it just we love everybody here. And KC feels like a little like in Asheville. So I see that as a community here, and it's like it's awesome. It's like when National Fashion Week happens, all the people that are into fashion come into one room at one time, and that never happens. It's just like there's never like a bar or a club or something where everybody hangs out into fashion. So I think it's very important that every 6 months that this happens, so that you can dress up, you can come, you can meet people that got a similar love to you.
Yeah.
It's like a Super Bowl of fashion every 6 months.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's a good way to put that.
absolutely.
I knew that'd work with you winning a Super Bowl,
He's
all
like,
the time.
I gotta
Will
speak
it-
to these
will
KC
you gi-
people.
will you give somebody else a chance?
Right. Well, I mean,
Yes.
if Brady held on for so long, I feel like Mahomes can do the same. So
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
see.
Oh, okay.
Are you a Titans fan?
No.
No care.
I've actually, well, yeah. I mean, I've been to see them and stuff, but it's very weird. I'm actually a Leeds United fan, which is like an English football side, and we're very you're born into the sport and you're born into supporting them. So it's like you support them from like a child. So to actually come in and like be like move to a place at 40 years old and then start supporting a team with all your kind of heart
Yeah.
and your passion. It's difficult for me to do that anyway as a Brit. So
No, I bet it would be.
I look out for the results for Kansas City, and I look out for the results of the Titans as well. So
There
Okay.
you go. Well, we
Awesome.
won't keep you. You know you are showing tonight, so you probably have to get back to your work.
I think so.
Yes.
Thank you so much
Yes,
for having
thank
me.
you so much for
Yes.
squeezing us in today and being on our green couch.
Well, we have two final things
Yes.
left. The first thing is where can individuals who are wanting to learn more about you or connect with you online or on social media find you?
So anyoldine.us is the website, and Anyoldine by Andrew Clancey is the Instagram, and it's like pretty much mostly everything is on there. If you message me on the Instagram, it's me that replies as well. So there you go.
Good.
Awesome.
And we do ask one more thing of all of our guests on the show. Since we are the Fashion Hive, like Beehive, every guest we have on, we ask them to give us their best bzzz sound.
With my mouth. All
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Got a
Wow.
little twist in there.
That was very impressive. That might be our best buzz so far.
We
Well,
got
I got a total buzz from being here. God,
but
so corny.
Well,
thank you
like,
again.
yes, thank you seriously for joining us
Yes.
and creating time for us this evening. We appreciate it.